Hello everyone, my name's Leopold, and today I'm going to be talking more about Sonic Forces. And I have a lot to say about this game and the future of Sonic. And I'm going to make this a little mini-series where I talk about the three franchises that I'm most interested in, which are Mario, Sonic, and Zelda, and the future of their games. This is going to be the longest of the series because I have a lot to say about Sonic's future. I'm really confident in the futures of Mario and Zelda because their games were stellar, but I'm a little worried about Sonic. So, let's get into this game. The first thing I want to do and get out of the way is show off the DLC. Some stuff that shouldn't have been DLC and some stuff that, is really just weird or nice to see. So, as you can see, my main avatar now has the soap shoes from Sonic Adventure 2, as well as a Sonic t-shirt, because you gotta go fist. So, they added this shirt in as DLC, as well as a couple of other colors. A couple weeks ago. So yeah, it's nice to see that. There's some outfits based off of other Sega franchises like Knights, Super Monkey Ball, Persona 5. It's weird to see this stuff in a Sonic game, you know? Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm coming off a little cold. Anyways, I also have several other avatars, so here's my main avatar. Then there's Amy Rose. Then we have Mr. Needle Mouse. Then we have Spring Boy. And then we have Blaze the Knights. And then we have Jet the Hawk. Then we have Excalibur. And we have Sammy Classic Sonic Fan. So, we're going to be using Sammy today. And I'm going to first start off with the stages that I'm going to show off. Are going to be all the modern Sonic stages. First, I'm going to play as Shadow in the first one. Just to show you how he plays. He basically plays identically to Sonic in his stages, but I will say it gives you another incentive to replay them, you know? Like, you don't always have to play with Sonic. I mean, Sonic's my favorite character in the franchise, but, you know, I do get bored of playing as only him. I want to play as other characters. That's why I love Sonic Mania, that's why I love Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I mean, I still think that, underneath, like, maybe Sonic Colors, Sonic Adventure is really the game where the main trio from Sonic 3 and Knuckles played the best. I really do think that because, they play strictly just like how they would if they were in a 3D version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, and this stage is not good, by the way. It's really short, just like every other stage in this game. I'm pretty sure that you can beat basically every stage in this game, or at least almost every stage in this game, in under 2 minutes. Now, that's really sad coming off the heels of Sonic Generations, where stages could be like 5 minutes at most, and that's the last stage. And the average was like 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, somewhere in there. It's a lot better than, this game. Some people have noticed some flaws with Generations level design recently, like how some of the stages are quite short, or how you can beat the first couple stages with only one hand. And I don't think that makes the level design worse, because you're actually involved, like fully involved with Sonic's movements in those stages. In these stages, you'll see, because this is the stage right after the first boss fight of the game that I didn't show off. And basically, the game does take control away from the player on way too many occasions. One thing, talking about Super Sonic in this game, that I really do kind of find weird is that he doesn't have to be activated. Like, as soon as you get 50 rings, he just turns on. Now, I'm not a big fan of that because, you know, this game already has flack for taking control away from the player way too much. And I still would say the same for Supersonic in this game. I mean, it's nice to have, but the fact that it's DLC that is only free temporarily, that's no excuse, alright? For those of you who have been following Sonic since 2010, Supersonic has become a really neat staple of the 3D Sonic games, the modern Sonic games. After Sonic Unleashed, Supersonic became playable in stages. In Sonic Colors, after you collected all the red rings and beat all the extra levels that you unlocked for doing that, you got Supersonic, which was awesome. And in my opinion, that game had the best version of Supersonic. You had endless boost. Some of the level design changed in some levels whenever you played as him. You couldn't use wisps with him on because there really wasn't any point. You didn't have a double jump. So, yeah, he really was the best version of Supersonic. He got neutered in Sonic Generations because what they did is he could fly infinitely while he had the boost. With the endless boost. And also, another thing that they did that I'm not a big fan of is the rings, whenever you boosted, drained like 10 per second. So it kind of defeated the purpose of even having Supersonic. Also, this stage has the best music hands down. Or at least one of the best tracks. It's a really underrated track if you ask me. So it's sad that we're just going to hear another version of Fist Bump here in about 2 seconds because we're about to get 20 rings. Because this game gives you rings like candy. Now, this is the third modern Sonic stage that somebody beats one-handed. What the? I don't know why those platforms aren't moving. But somebody beat it one-handed twice while exploring some alternate routes that you can take that I actually missed my first time playing. Up there, you can homing attack those guys to get to another alternate route and skip this section, which is kind of annoying. I'm not boosting because I don't want to die. And for those of you who are like, well, can you really beat this with one hand on camera? And I'm like, no thanks. I don't have enough practice. I mean, I would love to beat it with one hand, but I haven't managed to do that because you actually do kind of need to practice a little bit because the game will kill you. Oh my god, I didn't know if I was going to make that or not. Anyways, here's another quick time event that should have just been gameplay. And the thing that sucks about the quick time events in this game is that, like, you don't even have to press buttons. Like, I'm not going to press a single thing on this controller right now. And I get no punishment for it. It's really a shame. Like, they should have at least had you die if you failed a couple of the quick time events, or like one of them. Oh my god, I forgot about Supersonic for a second. But yeah, that's the end of the stage. And this is how the entire game is. And that's what's disappointing. This is how the entire game is. Now, of course I didn't get the S rank. That's what I sacrificed. But the thing is that with Supersonic, you don't even get like your time saved, which sucks. And you can't use them in boss fights, just like in Sonic Colors and in Sonic Generations. And in Sonic Lost World, I think, too. I don't know for sure. I haven't played that game, like, with Supersonic that much lately. So, you know, I had to do that. Anyways, here's Sunset Heights. This is actually a really good stage. I mean, yeah, most of it is 2D, but it's got a good track. And, you know, 3D section ain't that bad. you can kind of see why they only showed this game's stage to show off the modern Sonic gameplay. I kind of wish they showed off something like, I don't know. I just feel like this should have been like the opening stage, you know? Instead of Green Hill. But that's just me. What the? Anyways, yeah, you can beat every modern Sonic stage almost in about under a minute. And that's kind of disappointing. I almost don't want to be Supersonic whenever, you know, I'm playing this stage or some of these stages, because like it really does suck that you lose out on the music. Also, just ignore that shadow right there. You're probably confused, like, why are you able to play a shadow if he's on the bad guy's side? And that's another thing that I want to get into this game. It's very disappointing. It doesn't play as well as, say, Sonic Generations, and it's kind of disappointing to play this game after playing Generations, because Generations, in my opinion, is the most polished 3D Sonic game we've gotten. I really do think. And then we have this game, which isn't very polished, as you'll see in the stage, where I might actually die intentionally to show you one thing that set this game apart from Generations. You know, other than the fact that you can play a shadow, the boosts are now like wisps, and they actually like, you know, there's more automation. But the thing I want to show off here, you can't drift. So I died there because I could not drift using the LT, RT buttons, which was a very, very nice feature in Generations that made stages feel bigger. You can actually make this turn while boosting, but I'm not confident in myself to do that because this game, it really doesn't feel very polished. And it's really sad to see that, considering Generations was so good. Like, some people are like, oh, I'm glad that people are being negative about Generations now after, what, 6 years, and the fact that it hasn't aged well. No, it's aged great. Like, if you play that game after playing Forces, you can just see, like, the comparison is night and day. The level design is so much tighter. The controls are so much better. Like, if they could have just imported the Generations gameplay and like made Shadow playable or made new stages, I would not have been mad. Or even like add a new character, made some better level design, because Generations to me has some of the best 3D level design in the series, alongside Sonic Adventure 1. Because much like Sonic Adventure 2, it makes going in a straight line actually interesting. Like, you're actually involved in that. You can decide if you want to go on a certain route, but like, you never feel like you get lost. Anyways, we're coming up on the last stage, Mortar Canyon, and this stage I think is very ambitious because it technically is the first fully 3D boost stage that has only Sonic. The first one. And this, of course, isn't counting the tag team stages, which are Sonic and the Avatar. Not to mention that this stage is just so much fun to speedrun. Like, seriously, you can skip over huge gaps. I'm not going to do any speedrun strats in this because I don't want to die. But anyways, we're about to turn into Supersonic and just boost through the rest of the stage. And I just have to say that this game, this stage takes Boost to Win to a whole new level. Like, you can literally just keep a continuous boost throughout most of the stage. And right now I'm just jumping over all of the level design and flying over it. That's Forces in a nutshell. That's the air boost in this game because it's so overpowered. I don't like that it's so overpowered, but it's so much fun to mess around with. And this is the only stage where you get to do that. And it's sad, and it only lasts like a little bit. And that's the main problem with this game. Every time you're like getting really into the gameplay, it just stops. Like, it just falls short of greatness. And that's sad. I mean, never mind the fact that the level design is very bland or really linear. It's the fact that the level design just stops whenever, like, you're really getting into it. Like, this level is one of the best levels in the game. Null space. And it's still not very good because, it stops. Like, right when things are about to get interesting. This is a part of the game where Sonic and the Avatar get banished to null space. And as soon as you get there, you double boost right out. That pissed off so many people. But judging the stage for what you actually get to play, I mean, it's not bad. It's actually pretty fun. This is probably one of the bigger stages in the game. It's actually got some alternate pathways to explore, depending on what Wisp-On you have, or what path you decide to take. So like, I could go up here and use the burst and skip a huge chunk of the level design. Also, this music is just Fist Bump, which is a good song, but it's nothing special, you know? But I could just skip over all that, and I could even probably make it up here. Yes, I can. Not bad. Alright. I also know all the lyrics to this song. I'm just not singing. I'm trying to stop myself from singing because I know I'm trash. But yeah, you can do so much in this game. Why isn't there more stages like this? This could have been the best stage in the game too, if it went on longer. Like, we're almost at the end of the stage. I probably could have ended the stage even quicker than I'm about to if I had taken a certain route, or stayed on the route that I was going with the burst, but no. I like that amount of freedom, and I really do think that after this game, we're itching for fully 3D Sonic again. That's the problem with this game. That's the problem with all the Boost games. That they give us like some 3D, but then they also mix it in with mediocre 2D sections, or just 2D sections that don't really do much. And I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that. I mean, in Generations, it was excusable because the 3D sections were actually really good. But anyways, we've done all the modern Sonic stages. I'm gonna go ahead and show off the first classic Sonic stage. Oh no! On second thought, I just realized that the first classic Sonic stage after Ghost Town is Green Hill, and I hate the music for that stage. So we're gonna go to I guess Chemical Plant in this game, because it's actually not that bad of a track. And you're probably thinking, well wait, aren't you just gonna be Supersonic for most of the level? And yeah, I am. But I would rather like show off a little Supersonic right here. Now, in Mania, whenever you did a drop dash as Supersonic, you excuse me, you got the nice little like screen shake whenever you did the drop dash. In this game, it's nothing, it's just the same thing. So Supersonic in this game is quite underwhelming. I would argue they probably just imported it from Generations for Classic Sonic. And I like the little 16-bit fist bump that's playing right now. It's really nice. But yeah, Classic Sonic, this Super is not very I mean, I'll give him credit because, like I said before, Classic Sonic in this game feels at least a little bit better than he did in Generations. Some people say he feels heavier. I think he felt heavier in Generations. I really do. Like, I always felt like it was hard to make jumps in that game, but at the same time, that game's controls are a lot tighter. I just don't really think that Classic Sonic should return for another game. And I know that I'm really, like, all over the place with my opinions right now, but I'm just, like, talking about what I am, like, playing. So, like, Classic Sonic, please do not include him in a game again, unless it's like his own games, like Sonic Mania and stuff like that, because there's no reason for him to be in this game. He did nothing in the story, and honestly, he was the worst part of the game. He was basically just a distraction to add in game link. That's basically all he was. Now, I'm not going to be playing any more Classic Sonic stages. Not just because he's the worst part of the game, but because I want to show you guys how much of an impact he had on this game. So he has 1, 2, he has a boss. He has 1 boss in this game. 2 if you count the final boss. Let's see here. 2 stages, 3 stages, 4 stages, 5 stages, 6 stages. He has 6 stages in this entire game. None of these secret or extra stages have anything to do with Classic Sonic. They're all fully 2D, but none of them have Classic Sonic. And it makes no sense to me how they did that, or why they did that. Not to mention that some of the soundtrack is really good, and you don't get to hear enough of it because the stages are so short. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to get into the real meat of what I'm talking about in this game, or at least in this video, and that is the future of Sonic. Now, Sonic's future, in my honest opinion, they could do more. I think that if we're going to be getting another Boost game, what they should do, that they probably won't do, is have the elements of all the other Boost games in one. And that's all people want. It's that simple. And they're just not doing it. For what reason, I don't know. So, if we had the visuals of Sonic Unleashed, and the storytelling, we had the gameplay from Sonic Generations, and mechanics, for the most part, and probably the level design too. I mean, I think that Generations and Unleashed both have good level design, but I prefer Generations level design because it's a lot more, it's a lot less frantic, and it's more tightly knit. But I really think that it did a good job at balancing length and challenge, while also adding in 3D platforming challenges, as well as some 2D sections that weren't very intrusive. Because this could have just been an extra stage. Like, maybe it could have been an extra act for you to go through. I don't know. I mean, like, I would say more from Colors, but the only thing I could think of from Colors is that they need to not have the emphasis be on boosting all over the place. That's one of the main problems with this game. You've probably heard the term boost to win, and that's what this game ends up being. The other games, you can defend. Sonic Unleashed will punish you for boosting blindly, or not knowing what you're doing. It doesn't help that that game's stages and the controls were kind of off, but I digress. Sonic Colors actually limited the boost to the point where you just want to save it and then use it at certain points, and it felt more of a reward to use it because you just like, instead we're doing platforming, you know, and most of it was in 2D, but it was still some platforming, and you know, it was a lot more fun than 2D in this game. Sonic Generations, it was only the first 1 or 2 stages where you could get away with not pressing a button other than like the jump button or the boost button. After that, you actually had to do stuff in the stages. In this game, one of the very last stages, this stage, which is actually a really good stage, is still really short and ends up being a boost to win stage, because that's all you're doing throughout the entire level. There's no point where you have to just stop and actually platform. That's why a stage like, say, Egg Gate is actually kind of a good stage, because you get different pathways that you can go on, and they can also cross. That's what made Generations good. We should have had more level design like that. But I'm done ranting. I guess that I should play an Avatar stage. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna play this stage. This is one of the most disappointing stages in this game for me, because I love the stage track. Aqua Road. Like, it's a really good track. It reminds me a lot of the really soothing piano track from Sonic Lost World from the underwater grinding levels. But, you know, it just adds in vocals, and I don't mind the vocals. But then the stage itself ends up being a very on rails sliding stage for the most part. Like, I'm just only like slightly tilting the control stick because I don't want to die, because you can actually die for being interactive with this game. Like, it feels like the game is on autopilot, like right here. That could have been a great spot for me to just, you know, actually you know, do some platforming, or, you know, actually pay attention to the game. But no. Also, because I'm playing as a wolf, the rings will attract to me. I guess he has just a built-in magnet in him, I don't know. Anyways, so for those of you wondering what my ideal 3D Sonic game is, oh, there we go. That's my own fault for trying to be interactive with the game. I would also include like the customization of Sonic Forces, because there are some really neat aspects of the game in the customization, like some nice throwbacks to other games. And oh my god, I could have landed on another one. Ugh. Yeah, I really am not a big fan of this stage. It's way too short, and this second sliding section is so annoying. Like, I should have been done with the stage. I actually tried recording this part a couple of times already, and I like just stopped and started the recording over whenever I died, if it was really stupid death. And in this case, I almost want to, but look, this is the end of the stage right here. I'm dead serious. I'm right at the end of the stage. I died like 3 times before the end of the stage. And why? Because I tried to be interactive with the game and it wouldn't let me. Or at least it didn't feel like I should have been at that point. When people ask me what Sonic games I recommend them to play, if they're even interested in playing a game from the series, I would say Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, Sonic Mania, Sonic 3 and Knuckles in a heartbeat. Because those are a part of like some of my absolute favorite games of all time. because they're polished, they're fun to play, they have good level design, or they just feel like they were like really good games that were intended to be for everyone, you know? And it's sad to see that this game ended up the way it did, because it had so much potential. It really, really did. And a lot of people really wanted to believe in this game and think that it was going to be really good. I'm one of those people. I wanted this game to be great. I didn't mind the fact that classic Sonic was in it. I didn't mind the whole idea of creating an avatar. Some people, that literally killed the game for them, because they're like, alright, this is gonna be stupid. And it ended up being stupid. It's by no means a terrible game. But if this is how it's gonna be in the future, then a lot of people don't want to play Sonic anymore. They actually want to feel like they're involved in the game. Now, I had 3 suggestions for what's going to happen next with Sonic. The first most likely one is that we're going to be getting a spin-off title very soon. I don't know what it's going to be about, and I'm really hoping that it's like a new All-Stars racing game, because that would be awesome. Like, I love those games. I think they're better than Mario Kart. I really do. The next option is that they might actually try and go back to the adventure style. And I think that's the most unlikely option, because while it would be very welcome, especially after we got Sonic Mania, to get a Sonic Adventure successor, or maybe even a remake of those 2 games, I also think that people wouldn't really accept it for what they would make it. Like, they would probably have the gameplay and the tone right, but then people would say, oh no, it's awful because the voice acting isn't what it should be, or like the voice acting isn't good. And I don't think that it has to be the same voice actors from Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Heroes. Because first off, Dean Bristow's dead, which is sad. That's the main reason why we got the 4 kids voice actors in the first place. Second off, I'm personally not a big fan of Ryan Drummond as Sonic. He just didn't do a very good job to me. He was very stiff. Like, I think that he has potential to have a good voice, like, in terms of how he voices Sonic, but the way that he acts, like the actual inflections of those lines, just come off as very awkward. And I'm sure that they would be better nowadays, but he just doesn't sound right. Like, at all. Personally, I don't think that we've ever had a really definitive voice actor for Sonic. I think the closest that we've gotten is either Roger Smith at points, and maybe Jason Griffith in Sonic Unleashed, who was, I think, by the time he got let go, he was really doing a good job. And he really got the hang of Sonic as a character. Then we have the voice actors for Tails in those games, which were pretty bad. I mean, I give them points for being authentic, but they weren't very good voice actors. They were just kids, and now you can't really get them back because they wouldn't really voice the part right, because Tails is supposed to be 8. So for the most part, I would say stick with the current voice actors. The only ones who I don't like are maybe like Shadow's voice, because Kirk Thornton, after 7 years, just has not gotten accustomed to how the character should sound. And Amy, because she sounds like Minnie Mouse in this game again, and that's sad because her voice actress did a great job on Sonic Boom. Anyways, the third option that I see being the most likely thing is that in a couple years we're going to be seeing another Boost game. And I'm really hoping that if they're going to do another Boost game, they take what worked in Forces and maybe even take what worked in their rival Mario Odyssey and do something new. They have all new stages, like in Sonic Unleashed in Colors, because Colors was the last fully original Sonic game with not really any like reused assets that we've gotten, and that was 2010. The fact that some of the best Sonic games like Generations and Mania and even the Adventure and the first Adventure are some of the best Sonic games isn't because they have old locations. It's because of the gameplay. The reason why people love Generations is the gameplay. I don't think that anyone would have complained if they had just taken some time to reuse the Generations style controls and visuals and put them in a new environment. Or like new environments with even better level design that's more open, that's got some tweaks to make the controls feel even more smooth. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know what's going to come in the future, and I'm a little bit worried, but even then, Sonic's always found a way to bounce back, no matter what happens, no matter how bad a game was. Like, Sonic 06 could have been the death of Sonic. Sonic Unleashed was the first step towards Sonic healing. Sonic Colors was an even bigger step. Sonic Generations was the biggest step. Then we got the All-Stars Racing sequel, or the All-Stars Racing games in between those, and those were great. And then we got Lost World, which could have been good too, but it had its potential squandered, just like this game. And it's sad because Forces is going to go down in history as the most polarizing Sonic game yet. If you thought Unleashed was in the middle, if you thought that Sonic Lost World was very polarizing, you haven't played this game. You haven't seen what this game has caused. People sending more of the good people in the Sonic fan base, like Some Call Me Johnny, death threats over a game. Over a game. It doesn't make any sense. First off, this game is not good. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm a huge fan of Sonic. I've loved Sonic since I was a young kid, and I didn't get into the games until I was a little older. But Sonic means a lot to me. You'll notice that the main people that don't like this game are huge Sonic fans, and the people that do like it haven't really played that many, I don't think. But it's always different strokes for different folks. Like, I know people who, oh, Sonic Forces is the best Sonic game ever, and I'm like, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I can't really agree with that, because I didn't think that it was really much of a game. It was more of an interactive movie. That's what it felt like to me. And, you know, it wasn't even that good of a movie, because it ends up that we didn't get a lot of really, you know, interesting stuff from this game. That's just my 2 cents. Like, it has so many good ideas, but what killed it is the execution. The execution and the level design. If those things were better, this game could have possibly overtaken Generations as one of my favorite games. And the fact that it takes so many cues from Generations, a game that it's obviously trying to emulate because it has classic Sonic as a selling point, is what saddens me the most. So on that note, I leave you, Sonic Team, to go back and see if you can figure out what makes a good 3D Sonic game. What works in 3D, what you can tweak for 3D, and what you can do better next time. Because there's a lot of improvement to be had, and I'm glad that you're starting to somewhat take the steps to improve. They put out a survey for this game. And if you've played this game and are much like me and are disappointed with the game that we got, then I recommend going to take that survey. Just ask me and I will send you the link. I took the survey myself. I didn't hold any punches. I let them know my experience with the games and why this game was so disappointing to me. But hey, that's just me. That's just my 2 cents. Anyways, that's it for this part of the future of Sonic. I guess the future of Sonic is episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be about either Mario or Zelda. I don't know yet. I just know for sure that the next gameplay video isn't going to be of Mario Odyssey. I almost said Sonic Odyssey. I'm going to try and get better. It's almost Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you all. And to all a good night. And pray for me to get better. Pray for Sonic to get better. Because Sonic, he was in a good place 6 years ago. I mean, he's in an okay place now. We have Sonic Mania, which is a great game. But I just wish that we could have gotten 2 solid games instead of just 1. This has been Leopold. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you all next time.